You like to believe you're in control, that when you make a decision, it's because you thought it through, because you weighed your options, because you chose what was best. But most of the time, that's not what's happening. Most of the time, something else is deciding for you. Something quiet, something invisible, something you rarely question. And until you see it clearly, you'll keep making the same choices, even when you swear you want change. Think about it. How many times have you promised yourself this time would be different, that you'd finally commit, finally follow through, finally choose better? And yet somehow, you end up right back where you started. Same habits, same patterns, same outcomes. It doesn't feel logical. It feels frustrating, and eventually it feels personal. You start to think something is wrong with you. But here's the truth, most people never hear. Your decisions are not controlled by logic. They are controlled by familiarity. The brain's primary goal is not success, happiness, or growth. Its primary goal is safety. And safety, to the brain, does not mean what's good for you. Safety means what's known, what's predictable, what's familiar, what hasn't caused pain before, even if that familiarity is slowly ruining your life. This is why people stay in situations they've outgrown, why they repeat habits they hate, why they choose comfort over change again and again. Your brain is constantly asking one question in the background. Will this keep me safe? Not, will this make me better? Not, will this move me forward? Just safety. And the most dangerous part is that this process happens silently. You don't hear it as fear. You hear it as reasoning. I'll start tomorrow. Now isn't the right time. I just need to think this through more. Let me wait until I feel ready. That's not logic speaking. That's your brain protecting the familiar. Your past experiences have trained it. Every disappointment, every failure, every moment of embarrassment or rejection. They all taught your brain one thing: be careful. So now, when you're faced with a decision that could lead to growth, your brain scans your memory for risk. And if it finds even a hint of discomfort, it pulls you back. Not forcefully, not dramatically, subtly. It creates hesitation, doubt, overthinking. It convinces you that staying where you are is a smart decision, even when you're unhappy. This is why knowing what to do doesn't mean you'll do it. You can understand discipline. You can understand focus. You can understand what needs to change. But understanding alone doesn't override control, because control lives deeper than thought. It lives in identity. You don't choose based on who you want to become. You choose based on who you believe you already are. Your identity quietly filters your options. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with consistency, you will unconsciously choose actions that confirm that belief. If you see yourself as someone who always quits, your decisions will lean toward quitting, even when you don't want to, not because you're weak, but because the brain prefers consistency over contradiction. It would rather keep an old identity intact than risk building a new one. Change threatens identity, and identity feels like survival. This is why real change feels uncomfortable at a deep level. It's not just about effort. It's about letting go of a familiar version of yourself, even if that version is holding you back. Your decisions are also controlled by emotional memory. Not facts, not plans, emotions. Your brain remembers how things felt more than how they turned out. If you once failed after trying something new, the emotional memory of that failure lingers. And the next time you face a similar decision, that feeling resurfaces, not as a clear memory, but as resistance, a tightness in your chest, a lack of motivation, a sudden urge to delay. You think you're deciding logically, but your body is already reacting. This is why willpower alone doesn't work. Willpower tries to overpower a system that's been trained for years, and when willpower fades, the old control returns. Another force shaping your decisions is your environment. Not your future environment, your current one. The people around you, the routines you repeat, the signals you see every day. Your environment constantly nudges your behavior. If your surroundings reward comfort, distraction, and avoidance, your decisions will align with those rewards. Not because you're careless, but because behavior adapts to what's reinforced. This is why change is so hard in the same environment. You're trying to make new decisions while surrounded by old cues. Your phone, your habits, your daily patterns, they all whisper the same message: stay the same. And then there's fear. Not loud fear, quiet fear. The fear of being seen trying. The fear of failing publicly. The fear of discovering that even if you try, it won't work. So your brain offers you a deal. If you don't fully commit, you can always say you didn't really try. That way, your identity stays protected. No risk, no exposure, just potential. And potential feels safer than reality, because reality forces answers. Potential lets you imagine. This is why people stay in planning mode for years, why they consume information endlessly, why they prepare instead of act. It's not curiosity, it's protection. The moment you act, you give the future permission to respond. And that response might challenge the story you've been telling yourself. So your brain delays, over and over. Here's the part most people never realize. The more you repeat the same choices, the stronger they become. Every repeated decision strengthens a neural pathway. Every avoided action reinforces avoidance. Every delay makes delaying easier next time. Your choices train your future choices. This is why change feels harder the longer you wait. Not because you're incapable, but because repetition has made the pattern automatic. You're no longer choosing consciously. You're reacting. And reactions feel like decisions, until you slow down enough to see them. So what actually changes this? Not motivation, not pressure, awareness. You can't fight what you don't see. The moment you realize that your decisions are being guided by familiarity, identity, emotion, and environment, something shifts. You stop blaming yourself. You stop thinking you're broken. And you start working with the system instead of against it. Change begins when you interrupt patterns, not when you force outcomes. Small interruptions, different cues, new responses, slightly uncomfortable actions. Not because they guarantee success, but because they weaken the old control. Every time you act differently, even slightly, you send your brain new evidence. I can choose something else. That evidence matters, because the brain learns from behavior more than intention. Confidence doesn't come from thinking differently. It comes from proving to yourself that you can respond differently. And slowly control shifts from the past to the present, from automatic to intentional. You won't suddenly feel free. You won't suddenly feel fearless, but you'll feel aware, and awareness is power. Because once you see what controls your decisions, you're no longer completely controlled by it. You can pause, question, choose again. And that pause, that single moment of awareness, is where change begins. If this message helped you see yourself more clearly, continue with the next video in this series where we break down how to rebuild control without forcing motivation. Subscribe to Daily Upgrade Motivation for calm, psychological insights that help you regain clarity, discipline, and direction, one decision at a time.